time it is. We have made it to Wednesday, hump day on the hottest show in the streets, bringing you that Alabama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Go ahead right now. You hit that subscribe button. Welcome in. First and foremost, you know what time it is. You hit that subscribe button. Get every friend, every family member, every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to subscribe as well, because if you're feeling the content, they will also. We bring you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. Also, don't forget to like the show. Run those likes up. Give us a thumbs up right here. Hit that thumbs up button. Make this your network channel platform space to talk Bama football. Trying to get this show 50 likes starting out. So 50 likes starting out. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button right there. All donations welcomed and appreciated. That daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. Got a lot of conversation to get into on this evening. Hit that, be sure to turn on all those notifications right there. Hit that little bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes down to your Crimson Tide. Like I mentioned, a lot of things to discuss on tonight's show, and definitely want to hear from you, the fans of Tide football. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number to call in and let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358, and one more time, 205-448-1358. We want to hear from you. Light us up this evening. But John, without further ado, get into the opening topic here of discussion, and that one being for Coach Saban this offseason, no room for error. He's got a hit on offensive coordinator. He's got a hit on new defensive coordinator. These have got to be home run money, big-time hires. He's got a hit on any different position coaching hire that he's bringing in. If he's trying to reestablish a culture of dominance at the University of Alabama, if he's trying to return to winning national championships at a strong clip, if he's trying to get back to that meanness, toughness, nastiness, physicality, being the most feared team on the block in college football, then these next moves in terms of the coaching staff he's about to make, these have all got to be hits. Can't afford any misses this time around, especially with the momentum going on there at Georgia, where Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs are concerned. But while we await what happens offensively, we get into the defensive part of the conversation, that being defensive coordinator, with Pete Golding gone after 5 years of serving in that role. He's now at Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. And the question that we are asking ourselves is, where does Saban get the new defensive coordinator from? Which direction does he go in? How should he move? How will he move in terms of bringing in the next defensive play caller? And even bigger than that, does Saban go inside the program for the DC, being loyal to his guys that are already in the program and maybe bumping those guys up, promoting those guys up, granting those guys an opportunity? Or does he get fresh, objective, honest, innovative eyes outside the program to come in and really fix this thing up and put Bama back to where it needs to be at and where we have grown accustomed to seeing the program at? Now, for me, personally, I have leaned more so toward getting the guys outside the program, because when you're dealing with people that are not in your ranks, they have fresher eyes, they have fresher innovation, they have an intent that will not be biased. They're going to tell you, if you suck, bro, you just suck. And here's where you can get better. If you're not where you need to be at, they're going to be honest with you. You ain't where you need to be at. Let's just figure out how we can get you back right. Like, if you're not in top tier, people who are outside of your ranks that will come in, take a look at you, will let you know, hey, bro, you are not popping like you used to pop. You ain't shaking like you used to shake. So let me help you get back on the pedestal here. Let me help you get back on the horse, because clearly you've fallen off the horse. It's like life alert. I've fallen and I can't get up, but I'm going to help you be able to get back up. This is why I'm just saying I would go with objective eyes outside the program. But we're going to see how Saban goes about this. Now, you do have 4 objective eyes outside the program that have been targeted. Those 4 eyes, that would be Jim Leonard of Wisconsin. That would be Glenn Schumann of Georgia. That would be Jeremy Pruitt, who was recently at Tennessee, and also the New York Giants as a senior defensive analyst. And that would also be Jimmy Lake, who was recently the head coach of the Washington Huskies. So these 4 eyes are your objective, innovative eyes outside the program, and the top 4 names in the discussion to potentially replace Pete Golding as defensive coordinator. Now, of these 4 objective eyes, all 4 of these guys have a different story, right? When you discuss Glenn Schumann at 32 years of age, again, he started off his career student assistant, graduate assistant for the University of Alabama from 2008 to 2014. He witnessed, 3 national championships in that span, 2008, 2011, and 2012. 2015, became a director of football operations where he saw that 4th national championship for the Crimson Tide. He goes to Georgia in 2016, teams up with Kirby Smart, now back-to-back national championships. Now, Schumann would be a big get for Alabama. Huge get, great defensive mind, strategizer, schemer, game planner, a guy that's also an exceptional recruiter. But the question would be, how long would he remain at Alabama? Because he's interested in being a head coach at some point, as a lot of people are. You're interested in going up that chain of command. So if you get Schumann, it'd be fantastic. But the question that would linger in the back of your mind as an Alabama fan, okay, we got this brother, but how long is he going to stay here? Because he young, he hot, he innovative, he big time on defense. At some point, some other school is going to come calling. So how long would we have Glenn Schumann? It's kind of the same thing with Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard, young, innovative, energy, electric, can put schemes together. He did this at Wisconsin. But the word is Jim Leonhard at some point wants to be an NFL head coach. So while you could get him, Bama could get him, and it'd be great, but how long would he remain at Alabama before the first NFL job that comes calling and he jumping ship to the NFL? So those be those two guys. When you look at Jeremy Pruitt, I could see more stability there just due to all the stuff that he encountered at Tennessee. It would be about 5 to 6 years before another team would come calling for Pruitt. So that would give you more stability. That would give you more continuity. If on top of that, we know what Pruitt is at Alabama. I mean, come on. He played at Alabama under Gene Stallings, if I'm not mistaken. He well-respected every high school in this state, especially at Hoover, the show Two-A-Days. Pruitt was a part of that on MTV. Pruitt, as far as at Alabama, the university, in Tuscaloosa, 2007 to 2009, player development guy, 2010 to 2012, coach defensive backs, 2016 to 2017, defensive coordinator. So Pruitt would give you stability, if he was to come in here. And then you would have Jimmy Lake, who's an older guy, 46 years of age. One of the big things Saban likes about his defensive coordinators, do they have a defensive backs background? Were they a DB in college? What was Jimmy Lake? He was a strong safety at Eastern Washington from 1995 to 1998. And then Jimmy Lake coached DBs in the college level and the NFL level for Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions. He was a defensive coordinator at the University of Washington from 2016 to 2019. And during that period, the Huskies became a defensive backs NFL draft factory. I mean, Lake was putting multiple 2 and 3 DBs at a time in the first round of the NFL draft during that tenure. You look at names like Taylor Rapp, he put in there. Buda Baker, he put in there. Kevin King, he put in there. Sidney Jones, he put in there. Marcus Peters, he put in there. Just names on names. Jimmy Lake was putting those guys into the first round of the NFL draft. And they also, from 2016 to 2019, Washington gave up under 20 points per game in those years. The Huskies had quite a few 10-win seasons during Lake's tenure as a defensive coordinator. Got to the college football playoff a few times. So Lake did work at Washington. And the rumor was, before Saban settled on Pete Golding in 2018, Jimmy Lake was his guy. So you got to throw that caveat in there. Now, Lake, it did not pan out for him as a head coach for the Huskies, but I've always said this. Not everybody was born to be a leader of men. Not everybody was born to be a CEO. Some people were born to just coordinate. Just give them their cubicle, their responsibility with their respective group, they shine. I mean, like, kind of in that same boat there. So those will be your 4 guys: Schumann, Pruitt, Lake, Leonard, that would be your objective eyes outside the program that can help you. But we all know Saban. He's loyal, sometimes loyal to a fault, of his guys that have worked hard, risen through the ranks, been in the program, served their time. He wants to kind of give those guys an opportunity. So if Saban goes that way with inside the program, here are these names you can look at. You can look at Freddie Roach. You can look at Glenn. You can look at Sal Sunseri, and you can look at Todd Grantham. Freddie Roach, who's right now defensive line coach. He's been the D-line coach since 2019 and 2019, 2020. And so, Freddie Roach, you could bump him up to D coordinator, have him be the D coordinator and the defensive line coach together. You could do that for Freddie Roach. You could. But is he ready to run this defense? I understand Freddie Roach played at Alabama 2001 to 2005 as a decorative linebacker. But is Freddie Roach ready to run this defense and get it back to playing elite-style ball? Could be, but is he? Or he'll be a guy inside the program. And you look at Sal Sunseri, who served in an off-field role this past season. If you were to bring him back to an on-field role, Sunseri does have DC experience. He was a defensive coordinator at Tennessee in 2012. He was also a D coordinator at Alabama A&M 1998 and 1999. Do you bring Sunseri back on the field? We've seen what he can do with outside linebackers. We saw that. So do you bring Sunseri back on the field? And then you have Todd Grantham, of whom is a defensive analyst off the field. But we have seen him in the SEC coordinate defenses, whether that's been at Mississippi State, Florida, Georgia. He was also at Louisville coordinating defenses. He was a D coordinator in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. So do you have Todd Grantham in the spot? There are three names inside the program that you could choose from if Saban goes in that direction. But the question is, what should Saban do? What does Saban do? Because he's done this before. He went from inside the program before, where Kevin Steele left. He bumped up Kirby Smart to DC. That paid off, right? It did. 4 national championships. It paid off. He when Pruitt left, when Kirby Smart left, he bumped up Jeremy Pruitt. It paid off. National championship in 2017. But there's also been moments where Saban has gone inside the program and it didn't pay off. He bumped up Tosh Lapoy. That was a disaster. It did not work. He bumped up Pete Golding. For 5 years, we've seen this Alabama defense steadily decline. That did not work. Then Saban has went outside the program before. When he first pulled in Pete Golding from University of Texas, San Antonio in 2018, going outside the program, that didn't work. So we've seen this happen for Saban from both ends. But what should he do? Should he go outside the program, get objective eyes that are not going to lie to him? They're going to say, look, Saban, this is what you need to do. Get this thing right. Or does he trust his guys inside the program and get somebody inside? We're going to take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, I want to hear from you, the Bama Nation. I want your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. If you were Nick Saban, if you were the CEO of Bama football, what would you do in this moment? We'll take your calls after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at Emily'sHeirloomPoundCakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back into the action from the break on a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith. Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Continue hitting that like button, raise those likes up, hit that thumbs up right there on the show. Appreciate the support from you. All donations welcome and appreciated as well. We got James Knox in the building with that $4.99 in the super chats. Appreciate that from James Knox. And we got my man Bill from New York with that $8 donation, helping us out right here on the channel. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. Once more time, 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, Stephen. Bill from New York. How's it going, man?
Doing great, man. And yourself?
We're okay. You know, I've been really busy lately, and I haven't had like that much of a chance to keep up. My thing with the coordinators is, especially on defense, like I really trust Coach Saban. Yeah, you know, I think he kind of runs the defense anyway, and you know, I don't really have an opinion on that. Who he should select, I don't know. But I just hope the focus is on recruiting. You know, I want to keep getting these good classes. You know, and along those lines, I read something on the internet today that like we're bringing in a whole lot of guys early this year. 5 out of the 7 5 stars, 25 plays, something like that. They're all coming in early. That indicates to me that they're going to be playing, and that's good. Because, you know, I think most of the guys that we lost, I think some of those guys were shown the door. I don't take it as a sign like, hey, they just want out of here. I think that, you know, it was time for a change for a lot of people. Now, do you think I'm right about that, Stephen? Like, do you think that these guys were kind of told, like, it's a good idea to leave?
I can see it, Bill, and then at the same time, I can see it also this way. A lot of the 2023 guys that will enroll early, I can see where the coaching staff may have told them, hey, the door is wide open. It's so many positions. You're going to have a chance to either start or get huge playing time. The competition's wide open. And for a lot of these guys for 2023 this year that are coming in hungry, they're like, my time is now. Let me go take it because I want to help this program reestablish that dominant culture.
That's what I like to hear. Now, I just have a question and a possible suggestion. Now, is Wiggins gone? Because I read things to indicate that he was going to Texas. But like I say, I've been busy. Is he gone from the program?
Right now, Bill, Holman Wiggins still on Alabama staff. That's the wide receivers coach. No movement has been made.
All right. Well, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Now, what I wanted to talk about last is the quarterback thing. I remember last year, like when you would do like polls on the show, like fan suggestions and like fan votes. Like, I think it would be a good idea to do one about the quarterback position. Look, we don't see them practice. There's a long way to go. We don't know who's going to get injured. But I'd like to know other people's feelings and yours especially, you know, about who they think is going to be the quarterback next season, or who should be, however you would want to work it. I think that would be pretty interesting because when I look at this team, Stephen, I see a lot of talent. I see, you know, with guys, I think the right guys are coming back. I think the lines, both are going to be better. especially up the middle on defense and all over the place on offense. And I think that's what wins games. But, in the new kind of football, you can't do it without the quarterback. And I can have my opinions, but that's just me. And I made mistakes before with the Alabama quarterbacks. Like I told you, I wanted Bryce to start over Mac Jones, and Mac was the right guy for that particular team. He had a little more experience, But you think you'll be doing that again with the fan polls?
We will be working on that. Bill, absolutely we'll be working on that. I know right now a lot of fans kind of want to see what could Ty Simpson bring. You still have some that say do not give up on Milroe, especially if the offensive coordinator that Bama brings in to replace O'Brien's the real deal. It can develop Milroe. Milroe can be very scary. If Bama can get an OC that can really truly develop him. So it's neck and neck there. But then you got two freshmen coming in with Holstein and Larnigan. They're trying to cut it loose also. So we will be definitely bringing that poll back to engage the fans to see what they feel like, what they're thinking.
That's great. And that Holstein, I find him more interesting every time I watch him. But I'm going to let you go now. Listen, roll tide, everybody. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Bill from New York right there calling into the show on a Wednesday. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hi, my name is Dale from Georgia.
Dale, what's going on?
Hey, just a couple of comments on the defensive coordinator. I hear a few people, but very few, talk about Will Muschamp. And I just think that he is at the top of the game right now. And I just can't see why we wouldn't pursue him, especially what he's done with the defenses that he's been in charge of. The second comment is on the guy that was DC at Florida, Grantham. I don't know if you know this, that when he was there, they were ready to tar and feather him. That they just didn't think he was a very good DC, and I can't even imagine him being in the running with his record. But I think that we need to get somebody that's at the top of their game right now, not necessarily somebody that was a good DC 10 or 15 years ago. And that's the way I see it. And roll tide. I appreciate you, Stephen. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate Dale from Georgia calling in. Will Muschamp's another good one. Muschamp coached with Saban at LSU. Won a national championship there. Muschamp, energy in your face, demands excellence. The reason why Georgia's good now is Will Muschamp right through a Kirby Smart. That'd be a good name to go after. Would Coach Saban do it? I mean, it'd be a very good name to go after because people feed off Coach Boom, Will Muschamp's energy. We'll grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
I'm calling from Huntsville, Alabama. My name is Dennis.
Let's go. What's on your mind, man?
Hello? Yeah, I'd like to know. I'd like to kind of look at the defensive coordinator from a different perspective. Who do we need to come in to bring some new ideas into the defense? From just kind of like Lane Kiffin came in and kind of changed our offense and kind of modernized it. I'm kind of the opinion that we need somebody to come in with maybe some new ideas, somebody from the outside. My worry with Jeremy Pruitt is that he's not really going to do that. He's just going to run what's always been there. And we need somebody from the outside to come in and make some adjustments. I mean, in my opinion, we're too darn small. Our front seven's just too darn small. Henry Toto is too small for me to be playing middle linebacker. He's just there, the Mike. He's just too small. So I was hoping somebody could, look at Georgia. They still got some big boys up front. I'd like to have our defense also look physically a little bit more like we did back in 2016 rather than how we're looking now. And have somebody come in and change the defense a little bit, change maybe our coverage schemes, maybe change how we get pressure on the quarterback. And I was thinking, maybe a guy like Jim Leonard would be, kind of the type of guy we need to come in. I don't know. I'll be quiet and hear what you got to say about that.
Yes, I mean, that's not a bad thought. Jim Leonard would work. I mean, as far as a guy that, completely new, would come in here, fresh ideas, fresh thoughts, bounce some things off of Saban. Jim Leonard would work. Jimmy Lake would work. Lake has never coached with Saban, an older guy. Bring him in. He worked at Washington with the DBs he was able to coach. They were able to get pressure on quarterbacks at Washington. They were able to win conference championships, have a top 5 defense in several different categories. So those two guys just completely never been in the Alabama Nick Saban program. They would work, so I wouldn't be opposed to that. It's just, Bo Scarborough mentioned something, and we're going to get into this deeper on the show, and he mentioned this on the Bama Standard yesterday, Tuesday, right here on the TDA YouTube channel. Saban never really hires the guy that people normally want him to go after. He always kind of hires something different. And that you could tell with his move of Pete Golden, this was something different. Nobody expected Saban to hire Pete Golden. He did. This is the same thing with Bill O'Brien. Different. Nobody expected him to hire Bill O'Brien. He did. This is different with Lane Kiffin. Everybody said, no. Nick Saban, that's exactly what I need. And brought in Lane Kiffin. So Saban has been known at times to go against the grain. There are moments where it has worked. There are moments where it has not worked. So going back to something Bo Scarborough mentioned, sometimes Saban not necessarily going to hire the guy you think he's going to hire. All we're hoping for is a strong hire that can really get this defense to work the way it once did in Saban's tenure. But guys, shout out New Me 85, etc. with that $5 donation. The super chats appreciate New Me 85 right there, and also my man Eric Beasley with that $10 donation, helping us out right here on the show. All donations appreciated and welcomed right here via In My Own Words. 205-448-1358, number to call in. Let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. We got a cool call topic here, and that is on one Bryce Young, former Alabama quarterback, now pursuing the NFL draft. And as we get closer and closer to draft time, that being in the month of April, we're starting to see more news come out. Bryce Young could more than likely be the number 1 overall pick in April's draft. And if this happens, Nick Saban and the Alabama football program would have its first number 1 overall pick in the common draft era. And that would just be major for recruiting. Not just major for recruiting, but major for Alabama and getting quarterbacks. Not only could Nick Saban say, hey, we had Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Bryce Young, Jalen Hurts to a certain extent, and put all those guys in the NFL, 3 of those 4 first rounders, but we had the number 1 overall pick and a quarterback in Bryce Young. If the Chicago Bears make the move to trade Justin Fields to get Bryce Young, or if some other team trades up to the number 1 overall pick to get Bryce Young, that's going to be a huge feather right there in Coach Saban's hat, because, I mean, Bryce, we already know, got the accuracy, the ball placement, the timing, all of the things passing-wise to be successful in the NFL. He's got mobility, athleticism as a runner, though he does not like to run all the time. Yes, people will nitpick his size, but I don't really care about that. As long as you can play the game, you can play the game. Bryce Young is out there playing the game. So we'll see. But right now, conversation could very much, more than likely, Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick for this upcoming draft right here. We're gonna take our next break here, folks, and touch that dial upon our return. Alabama's got a new defensive coach. It's time to learn about him. Time to read up on him. It's time to get all of his background information so we can study him more. We'll talk about it right after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back rocking and rolling into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets here, talking Crimson Tide football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And guys, shout out Bama Fan 87 with that $19.99 in the Super Chats. Bama Fan 87 showing love right here on the channel. All donations welcome and appreciated. That daily Super Chat go $100 daily. Super Chat go $100 right there. We got 93 likes on the show. 7 more to 100. Continue hitting that like button. Give us that thumbs up. Smash the like button right there. 7 more likes to 100 at 93 as we speak right now. But John, Alabama new defensive coach Austin Armstrong, coming over from Southern Miss, will coach inside linebackers for the Crimson Tide after spending some time as the defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach for the Golden Eagles. And while, Alabama fans, you are happy about this guy. You're happy about this guy. You're excited about this guy coming in here and what he can do and what he can bring. But we don't really know much about Austin Armstrong at all. So it's time to kind of read up on him. We'll get some background information, familiarize ourselves with the latest member of the Alabama football coaching family, if you will. So if you look at Mr. Armstrong, he is one of the fastest rising young coaches in the game. He's rising quickly. He's growing quickly. He's emerging fast, rapidly up the ranks right now in terms of coaching. And if you look at the background information here, Armstrong played football at Huntington College in Montgomery, played linebacker there for 4 seasons. So he played the linebacker position, so he's played it. Players have a lot of respect for coaches who have played their respective position. So at Huntington, Armstrong was a linebacker for 4 seasons. So started his coaching career at a D2 school, West Georgia. In 2016, he served as a defensive line assistant, but then he moved from there quickly to the Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns, where he sat under Billy Napier, former Nick Saban assistant. And under Coach Napier, Armstrong helped the Raging Cajuns to a Sun Belt Conference Western Division title in 2018. So it was big there for Armstrong. After some time there at Louisiana Lafayette, he goes to Georgia and sits under Kirby Smart, under Dan Lanning, and under Glenn Schumann. He goes to Georgia, also Will Muschamp too. He goes to Georgia in 2019, where he's the defensive quality control coach, and he helped the Bulldogs go, 13-2? Helped the Bulldogs do what? Win the All-State Sugar Bowl, beating Baylor that year. He helped the Bulldogs put together a nasty defense that gave up 12.6 points per game, that pitched, 3 shutouts. So as a defensive quality control coach for a season, Austin Armstrong did some good things right there. So he served at Georgia for a year. And then he went back to Louisiana Lafayette in 2020, did some really nice things with that defense, turned that group around, helped that group get 16 interceptions that season, if I'm not mistaken. Some big things there. And so the last 2 years he's been at Southern Miss, And he's helping guys like Dalen Gill at linebacker, Dentrell Latham at linebacker, Avery Habas at linebacker, all these different inside linebackers. They are producing, right? They're producing. They're shooting the gaps. They're getting tackles for loss. They're making negative plays in the backfield. They're clapping on running backs. They're sacking quarterbacks. I mean, Southern Miss last year was in the top 5 in the nation for sacks with 44. Alabama only had 38 sacks. Southern Miss had 44, top 5 in the nation. So Austin Armstrong, for as young as he is, quickly rising as somebody that knows defense, that understands defense, that gets defense. And the good thing here is you've got him at one position. Just manage the inside linebackers. Just get that position playing better, because under Pete Golding, that was the main position that struggled. The inside linebacker position. Guys lost, guys not in the right spots, guys not physical enough, guys not sticking their nose in, shooting gaps, making tackles. That was the deficient area, inside linebacker. Now, getting the guy in Austin Armstrong, who's played the position, who's coached the position, and not just played and coached it, but has sat up under some OGs. Sat up under Billy Napier, learned from him, former Saban assistant. Sat up under Kirby Smart, learned from him, former Saban assistant. Sat up under Glenn Schumann, learned from him. You know, he was with Saban to start this whole championship run. Sat up under Dan Lanning. Austin Armstrong had sat up under some teaching. So he's got some tools in the tool belt because he sat up under some dudes. What you want to do? You want to sit up under the right names, the right guys, take notes, understand what's going on. So this is a good thing here for one Austin Armstrong. So he's going to inherit it. He's going to inherit a very talented inside backer room. When you discuss Deontay Lawson, Kendrick Blackshire, Jahad Campbell, Sean Murphy, Ian Jackson, Justin Jefferson as a JUCO transfer, he's inheriting a very talented room. The one thing that Bama Nation, you guys are asking for from Austin Armstrong, can he have these guys playing every single Saturday with their hair on absolute fire, getting to the ball, attacking the ball, attacking the quarterback, attacking running backs, playing with energy, playing with effort, playing with confidence, playing with discipline, playing like you're ready to wreck the opponent's life. That's what you want to see Austin Armstrong do. He does that, you as Bama fans will have no problem with this guy on the coaching staff. So, got some information on Armstrong. You've learned about the background. Now we will see what he can do here in Tuscaloosa. Take another break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, people will return to the phone lines to grab your calls, your conversations. We get to you, the Bama fans, right after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
All right, folks, we're rocking and rolling to the action from the break on a Wednesday. Hottest show on the streets. Talking your Alabama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA right here. Continue hitting the like button, running those thumbs up, hitting the like button on the show, making this your network, your channel, your space to talk Bama football. All donations also welcome and appreciated right here. In my own words, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But also we got 118 likes. Let's shoot for 150. Continue hitting that like button, folks. Hit that thumbs up. Make this your place right here. We got 311 people in the chat. You guys hit that like button. Blow it up right here for us right here on a Wednesday. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be made known, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, my name is Chad, calling from Miami, Florida.
Chad, what's happening, man?
Not much, man. As per se a few shows ago, I believe some of the guests were saying that Alabama is not the same defense as it used to be, and technically it's not. And then we're in this whole major passing game spread system in college now, where Alabama defense can't shut opponents down to like 3 to 10 points anymore. It's not that system anymore, but from what I'm seeing, Pete Golan had to go, man. He looks like he's a cool and nice guy, but the players don't fear him, man. And a lot of times, fear equals respect, and I don't think a lot of the players respected him. They were just cool with him because he was their coach pretty much. I think that Alabama has to reevaluate starters at every position on the defense, especially D-line, because the D-line used to be dominant. Alabama used to kick out first-round picks at least every 2 years on the D-line. We haven't had a first-round pick since Quentin Williams. I believe like Barmore and a few others have gone in the second round, but they didn't really mature until maybe like their senior season. The linebackers can't get off blocks. I've seen, especially with Henry To'oTo'o. The linebackers haven't been able to fill the gap, and then it's a read and react position, and it seemed like a lot of the linebackers we had playing in the middle, all they've been doing is reacting. The year before, when we lost to Georgia in the national championship, there were issues with the secondary. They had issues turning around, and I believe they brought in Travarius Robinson for that. And then this year, it seemed like a lot of them were playing out of position or didn't understand their assignments on defense, especially in like the Tennessee, the LSU, and Texas games, because those teams should have been nowhere close to where our offense was, even though our offense did struggle a little bit, but we did put up points. But it seemed like the players didn't know exactly what they were doing. I don't know if the defense was too hard or something else was going on with the players. Like they weren't receiving their assignments correctly. And then if you look at it, the whole defense in terms of stat was down. Will Anderson went from 17.5 sacks to 10. Jordan Battle barely, I think he had his first interception in the bowl game, which is crazy to me. He looked like a first-round pick in that bowl game where we defeated Ohio State 2 years ago. Like when he came down and knocked out that safety, he looked like he was definitely going first round that year. And then in 2 years since then, it's been kind of I'm looking at him as maybe like a second or third round pick this year, especially with him and DeMarco Helms. Both of them look like they were playing a strong safety position. Alabama looks like they didn't have a free safety this year because they were pretty much playing the same position. And then we have Dallas Turner only had 4 sacks the entire year. And then I believe Kool-Aid had like 2 interceptions. So it seemed like the defenses need to be reset, man. We need to look at every position and reevaluate all the players, because it seemed like Alabama's defense is kind of middle of the pack, even though I believe they were like top 10, but it seemed like they didn't have any like signature wins or did anything crazy. So me and my friends debate the games all the time, debate the players. So they were talking about a reset also. So they were saying Terrion need to move back to his natural position, which is safety that he came in as. I don't believe he should be playing corner because he did get beat a few times. Him and Caleb should definitely be starting at safety this year. I know it's gonna go into camp and they're gonna test out and see who's good at it. But Christian Story's okay. I mean, he he did ball out at the end of the season when he did have time to come in, but let Caleb and Terrion play safety because it just makes more sense. Kool-Aid and Earl should play corner and let Brian Branch come in at nickel. And then if he doesn't work out, let somebody else come in and play, man. And then, like I said, we just got to reset the linebacker because the linebacker's got to be dominant, man. We haven't had a first-round middle linebacker in a while also. I believe it was maybe Rashad Evans in like 2018 or something like that. So the whole defense just need to be reset, man. Look at every position and bring in a coach that all the players fear because that coach is going to hold them accountable.
Absolutely. Chad right there from Miami giving us his thoughts here on the show. Now, he mentioned Brian Branch declared for the NFL draft. So who would play in that nickel role would be more so Malachi Moore not playing that nickel role, or Malachi Moore could be free safety. I mean, so many position battles will be discussed as we get closer and closer to spring practice. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up with you? This is Jay from Florence.
Jay, what's going on?
I'm chilling, man. I'm hearing all this coordinator talk, man, and I don't like this Cliff Kingsbury guy. I'm still on that, man. I really hope he do not come to Bama. Saying that they do.
Jay, apparently Kingsbury's going to take a year off from football. Apparently he's burned out.
Man, that's the second greatest news I done got all year. P got fired, then you told me that trash can ain't coming. I like that there. Well, Steve, next year we got to start our defense through that Jaheim Otis. Man, that man. Have y'all went back and watched the Kansas State game and just watch how he reset the line of scrimmage every snap of the play, every snap, man. This man gonna put himself 3-4 yards in the backfield every snap. Like we got him, Tim Williams at 44. The D line, we got to get back to them guys. Like the rotation gonna be so sick next year, Steve. I just hope whatever coordinators we do get understand that, man, we got top talent that everybody needs to see the field. Because we bringing in this number one class, all these guys, okay, most of these guys are red shirt, we know that. And it ain't no sense of throwing Caleb Downs, them, and all them on the field if they ain't ready. We got guys. So, I think we should let them just sit back, Steve.
I see the same thing. I mean, you look at this defensive line, you're going to be putting 3 and 4 deep. You're going to have 3 and 4 deep, whether you start off with Otis, Tim Smith, Damon Payne, whether you throw Jamil Burrows in there. I mean, you're going to have, whether you have Tim Keenan III in there, Monkel Goodwine in there, you're going to have 3 to 4 deep.
Man, Steve, we got to get back to the stunting and the twisting game that we used to have. That used to affect the blitz package too, guys. I mean, that make it way easier for the linebacker to run through there when you doing a little stunt game between the two nose guards or something. But I guess that's a little too deep into football because it seems like a bunch of these fans don't understand that the game is won on the line of scrimmages. Offensive line, defensive line. That's where you go in first. And, man, we got to get back to Alabama football. That what's his name? Tyler Booker. I love how nasty he is, Steve. I love it.
I sat there and said it when he first got here. That dude different. I said it when he first got here. That dude different, and we saw that. We saw it last year. He different. When he get his hands on you, you pancaked. Whether he's at left guard or right guard, you pancake if he gets his hands on you.
Whatever coordinators we gotta get back to just physically breaking people's wheels, man. It just would be fun to just see that again. See Alabama running back with, I don't know, 20 touches or something, 20 run attempts, but I guess that's too much, asking too much for these new offenses, right? You got to throw it 85 times when it's 3rd and 2 or 4th and 1. But never mind, Steve. Roll Tide, y'all. Let's get back to dominating. I love y'all, man.
Appreciate Jay from Florence calling in right there on a Wednesday. We transition out of this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from?
What's up, Mr. Steven? Calling from Chicago, Illinois. You know, I really want your comment on what I'm about to say. You know, I listen to all the football pundits, the Paul Feinbaums and everyone. Am I missing something? There's two people in one organization knew that they could not let Alabama into that college football championship. And the reason why is because of the fact that they knew that Nick Saban and Alabama was licking their chops, trying to get back to those dogs. What I don't understand about people, all these experts, when they talk about football, if you know anything about SEC football, when Auburn plays Alabama, Alabama can be 10-0, Auburn can be 4-6. Throw the records out the window. It's SEC football. If I'm not mistaken, in order to be crowned the new king, you got to knock the old king off the hill. The college football playoff did not want Alabama in that football playoff because of one reason. They knew they was trying to get back to the dogs. And Alabama was healthy. If Alabama would have gotten to that college football playoff, Ohio State, Michigan, no one's going to stop them from getting to Georgia. And I guarantee you, if Alabama would have played Georgia head up, a healthy Bryce Young, throw the records out the window. So until Georgia plays Alabama head up, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama split with Georgia last year. Am I mistaken, Steven?
No, you are not mistaken there, D. I mean, Alabama won the SEC championship. Georgia won the national championship that year. But if a healthy Jamison Williams would have been on that field, the national championship would have been different.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Until Georgia and Alabama plays, now if Alabama would have played in this year's college football playoff and they would have lost to Georgia, okay, yeah, now crown Georgia the new kings of college football, because guess what? They knocked the king off the mound. Alabama fans don't need to stop panicking. Alabama was snuffed to stay out of that college football playoff. There's two people that knew that if Alabama got in that college football playoff, they was going to make some noise. That was Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. The organization that knew was the College Football Playoff Committee. They did not want Alabama and Georgia in another SEC championship game back-to-back with Alabama and Georgia. So they threw two Big Ten teams in there and a TCU, hoping. They thought Michigan was going to take care of TCU. They thought maybe Ohio State would give Georgia a good competition, which they did. But you see, TCU dumped over the apple cart because they beat Michigan. The college football playoff did not want another SEC champion this year. They knew if they put Alabama in there, they was going to have Alabama-Georgia back-to-back SEC national championship. They didn't want that. Stop panicking, Alabama fans. Alabama, if they would have played Georgia this year, I honestly think in my heart of heart, with a healthy Bryce Young, Alabama would have either won or gave Georgia, I guarantee it wouldn't have been no 65-7. I guarantee you that. So I would just like to hear your comments on that. But I honestly think Alabama could have made some noise and probably even won a championship this year.
Appreciate that call coming in right there. Now, I know for a fact if Alabama would have gotten in, it would have been a way more competitive football game. Eyeballs would have been all over Bama. Georgia TVs would have gotten their money's worth. Revenue share would have gotten its money's worth. It would have probably been the most watched championship game in the last 20 years versus what we got, which was Georgia TCU, which was definitely the least watched championship game in over 20 years. So if Bama would have gotten in, you would have had more people watching that football game. And with a healthy Bryce Young, Bama would have stood the way better chance of taking care of Georgia in the national championship. But at the same time, that's why we're so excited about what's going to happen next season, starting with this spring. That's why this A-Day game is so important this spring, for the fans to come out and see this team. Can this team get this program back to that national championship and take care of business? Start off in spring, in the summer workouts, in the fall camp, in the regular season. Can this team get it back to where it wants to be in? But gotta shout out Brian Watson with that $4.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate Brian Watson helping us out right there. And then we got a 40-piece from Mechanic showing love to the channel as well. Brian Watson and Mechanic, appreciating those two. We're right now $7.03, $7.03 away from the goal of $100. Appreciate all of you guys, all donations welcome and appreciate it. Thank you guys for making this your network channel show, talking Bama football. But our call topic right now goes to one Jalen Hurts, of whom he is off the injury list for the Eagles. His shoulder is good. He's good to go. Been in practice all week, preparing for Saturday's NFC divisional playoff game against those New York Football Giants. The Eagles win. They move on to the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts got Super Bowl on his mind. He's having an NFL MVP season. 3,702 passing yards, 35 total touchdowns. Eagles are just rolling. So can it knock off the Giants? Fun fact, Jalen Hurts will go up against his former offensive coordinator at Alabama, Brian Dable. Brian Dable, head coach of the Giants. He was Alabama's offensive coordinator in 2017. We got some Bama on Bama crime in the NFC divisional playoff game. Jalen Hurts will also go up against former Bama safety Xavier McKinney, who plays for the Giants. So, man, it's going to be fun. It'll be fun to watch that, all that action. But Jalen Hurts, good to go. Nona Davis with that $10 donation. Appreciate Nona, and our daily Super Chat goal has been met. Appreciate all of you for the love there. Ty Alexander with that $9.99 in the Super Chats as well. You guys rolling them in. Rolling them in. We take our final break here, folks. When we get back, we discuss, will Nick Saban make the right hire at DC and OC for that matter? Will he make the right hire in getting this program back to that national championship for next season and for seasons to come? We tidy up loose ends after this.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
How we feeling, people? We're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, bringing you that Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Appreciate all you guys checking us out here on today. And continue hitting that like button, giving us that thumbs up, liking the show, making this your show, network, platform, channel, space to talk Bama football. Thanks to all of you guys donating in, making this your space right here to talk Crimson Tide. Bama boy AJ dropping in that 777. He's doing his best Willie 351 impersonation right there. So appreciate it, Bama boy AJ showing love here on the channel. But now, John, we wrap things up with this right here. And this is for the Alabama fans that say, I trust Nick Saban. I trust the GOAT. He's been here since 2007, won 6 national championships at Alabama, won 8 Southeastern Conference championships. He's put countless players in the National Football League. He's produced several All-Americans, unanimous and consensus All-Americans. He's changed the landscape of college football. Whatever he does, I'm behind it. I trust Nick Saban. This question is for you. Will he make the right hire in terms of defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator? Will Saban make the right hire here? Because this is pivotal for him. This is critical. At 71 years of age, Saban's got to get guys in here that are grown-ups in the room, veterans, experienced, know what they are doing, how to do, why to do, the purpose of doing. Saban cannot make hires of, I got to teach these guys and groom them. No, he's got to hire vets. He's got to hire vets, and these vets have got to be ready. Come in here and get this program back to where it needs to be at, especially when you talk about if this is Saban's final run of national championships, every coach has got to be a hit. Can't have misses. Kirby Smart's got a lot of energy rolling right now, a lot of momentum rolling right now, a lot of fire going right now. Everybody in Georgia respecting what Smart's doing, fearing Smart in terms of the program he's got going right now. Saban's got to make sure, hey, I got to hit on everything. I got to hit on these names. And I mentioned earlier in the show, former Alabama running back Bo Scarborough, he talked about it on the Bama Standard yesterday. If you guys check that out, Saban doesn't necessarily hire who everybody wants him to hire. And I understand that, and I get that. He's his own man, absolutely. But whoever these names are, these 2 names become, for OC and DC, they got to be hits. They got to be home runs. It's got to be money in the bag. Got to be. Because I'm just saying, you're trying to maintain, you're trying to reestablish yourself as that program everybody fears in college football. At one point in time, when you said Alabama, opposition said, darn, we got to play them. You said Alabama, people already halfway wetting their pants. Man, we got to play them. And when you said Alabama, teams used to be mentally broken and defeated the moment they looked at Alabama. When you said Crimson Tide, the manhood of an opposing team was taken by the time they put their foot on the ground. That's how Alabama was at that point in time. The last 5 years, opposing teams have said, we can run the football on Alabama, or we can throw the football on Alabama, or we can score points on Alabama, or we can just do what we want to do against Alabama. And it was not so in the past under Coach Saban. So these next hires, OC and DC, and U.S. fans who have done a great job of asking the right questions, of wanting the best from your program, of wanting a program that you can always brag about regardless of the situation. You guys are saying, Saban, make the right hires. Get home runs into this program and running this offense and running this defense. Because you as Bama fans, y'all relish buying national championship. I know you do. Y'all relish going to Academy and Hibbett Sports, wherever else you go to, and getting that national championship gear as soon as that stuff hits the streets. Y'all want to get that. Well, part of getting that national championship gear, you got to get some national championship coordinators. And that's on Coach Saban. You got to get these guys that the players trust, that the players respect, that the players fear, that the players will run through a brick wall 4, you got to get some coordinators that some rough riders too. You got to go get them guys. You got to go bring them in here and have them get this team and get this program where we know it's capable of being it. So will Coach Saban make the right hire? Make it. Hopefully he does. Prayerfully, he does. All I can say there about that. But as always, people, you want the best news, notes, information, anything for the Crimson Tide, you gotta go to touchdownalabama.com. You check out touchdownalabama.com to get all of your information on Bama football as we cover your Crimson Tide from top to bottom. You can always purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Add that sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, here is what you go. Here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description also. Gotta shout out you guys, the incredible fans of Bama football, for all the calls, all the chats, all the donations, all the love, all the conversations we were able to have today. You making this your show, your network platform space to talk Bama football. We definitely appreciate you guys. Also, gotta shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio, handling his thing behind the ones and twos there, making this show what it is for you, the Alabama football listener. Until next time, folks, as always, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue now, doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening. In my own words.